there is a Harry Potter tag. I don't know if it's tag. I don't know. But it's basically 50 questions. We are not going to get through all 50 questions.
Probably
we're not even going to try. I think we're going to start with 5 and see how that goes. You'll answer
ears
first.
aren't straight. Sorry. Go on. Carry on.
So we just did a random number generator. So the first question is number 12, actually. So, a Hogwarts house you don't think you belong in at all.
Hufflepuff. I really, really admire them, but I'm lazy as hell. I can't. I'm loyal, but that's the only part of me that I fit in. What about you?
Same. Though every time I've done a quiz, the one thing I have gotten like 0% is Hufflepuff. I am not a Hufflepuff. I don't even think
I'm a Gryffindor. 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 I'm a Gryffindor.
I'm a Ravenclaw. I am not a halfway between two houses thing at all. And the least like I am is Hufflepuff.
Love you Hufflepuffs out there, but I'm not one of them. I'm sorry. I know. I wish I was. Actually, no, I don't. I like being Ravenclaw. So the next question is number 15. If you could talk to J.K. Rowling, what would you tell her? I mean, Rowling, not Rowling. She's gonna. Don't get mad at me. It's Rowling.
Oh, I don't know actually. See, a few years ago, I would ask writing advice or something like that. More like a fan to an author, which I'd hate to do, but I would love to know if Sirius Black, if he's actually straight or if he's gay. Though at the same time, I don't want to know because then it could ruin things.
Because if she says that he's not, then it would ruin.
Well, then I'd ignore it and just continue living my life with Wolfstar.
Apparently that's an OTP. Anyway.
Oh, it's wonderful.
It really is. What I would tell her is, actually, I wouldn't really tell her so much as ask her all of the backstory she did about the world, because I am all about backstory in my writing. I do the government systems, I do religion, I do everything, because I do actually really want to know if all of her, all the wizards are Christian, because they do have all the Christian holidays, but you'd assume that they'd be pagan because of just the, idea of...
See, that's a good thing to ask.
So that's what I'd be interested about.
Like, that's a good thing to ask
the
about
religion,
because that's not addressed at all.
It isn't, because they have a Yule ball, so they do mention Yule, and they have some of the Samhain words, but I mean, at the same time, that might just be a British way of saying around Christmas.
Yes, that's a good question. Okay. Would you like to own a house elf?
Yes. I'm sorry, yes, 100%. I would own a house elf. I mean, I wouldn't be mean to it. I don't see any point. I wouldn't be a Malfoy. I wouldn't be a Malfoy. No, I would definitely own a house elf. But, mostly because I have no ability to keep my room clean. Unless this one's here with me.
Every weekend.
What about you?
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's to be something just to do. Like, I would try, like, I'd try and be a benevolent master, I guess. Like, I wouldn't want to try and be, like, I'd hope I'd be conscious enough to, like, make sure that they actually like serving me. And, like, do help them. Like, just, be a good employer.
Well, I mean, the only two house elves you really see are Winky and Dobby. And Dobby seems to be, and Creature. So, Creature and Winky seem to love serving. But Dobby seems to be the odd one out in this situation. So wanting to be free seems to be like an odd reaction.
He's in the rebellious stage.
He's in his rebellious stage. He's a teenager. Well, basically, that means he died when he was young. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, they seem to want and or need to serve, so that would imply that they would not. There's no reason to act like Hermione. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, like I would definitely want to be Hermione because I think Hermione definitely did go extremely. I think it's great,
and I do think it's a Muggle-born upbringing, though.
Yes,
I do think it's definitely a Muggle-born upbringing, especially seeing all of the slave.
Yes, exactly.
Question number 26: have you ever noticed something that doesn't make sense to you while reading the books?
Oh God, it's been so long. Like, that answer would have been like. Let's see, what is something that used to bother me? I don't know, because the fandom has come up with so many explanations for everything that at this point I don't know. Okay, so I love Snape. He's my favorite character. He has been forever, and especially after the 7th book, like, really, wow. But his story bothers me. On one hand, I love it, but on the other hand, it is sort of like very dramatic and just doesn't make sense. And the whole thing with James, like, that whole story and their rivalry and how James reacted towards him and how he acted towards him, like, and with Lily, like, I would like to actually know what happened, not just through the memories of Snape. And who else did we get the memories from?
Dumbledore, I think.
Maybe.
No, I think it was mostly just Snape. It was mostly just Snape.
And then there was, we heard about
a
it
little
from,
bit,
Sirius and
verbal
Remus.
stuff from
Yeah, so, like, I would love to see an unbiased, like, take on it, because memories
the entire Harry
are
Potter
huge,
books are
very
all
easy.
biased, because they're all from Harry's point of view, you know?
Yes, but it's still, wouldn't it be as biased as, like, from the person who was getting bullied for all those years and from someone who was doing the bullying. So, that would be something I'd like to actually know what happened.
I guess for me, I had actually a couple character small points that bothered me that I don't really remember exactly why, but in particular, I think it has to be Dumbledore's reactions to Harry. Not necessarily because they were, you know, manipulative or whatever people are saying now, but because, however, like, maybe not even his reactions to Harry, just his reactions in general, because in what way is it safe to put a stone that you are 100% certain that you know who, somebody bad enough that nobody speaks his name, into a school surrounded by children, protected by things that were literally taught to first years? I mean, the flying is, the chess isn't. There you go. The chess wasn't taught to students, and that was kind of a cool one. But everything else was a logic test, and I mean, it's just...
Yeah, no, I think that is one of the things
it just made me angry because it made it much more plausible for him to be manipulative and evil, because it looked like a test.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it that way, it's very bothersome.
I feel like those tests are, like, one of the more forgotten about super bothered things by the fandom. Like, there's certain things that the fandom will never get over, like, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? That the fandom is still not over, and I have a feeling never will be. And also that scene, those tasks in the first book. Like,
yeah,
it's not talked about much, but when it is, people are super pissed off.
I mean,
about
that's
that.
the one
It's
thing
ridiculous.
that confused me about it. I mean, also, one more thing that, if you don't mind, at the very end of the 7th book, why Snape is suddenly forgiven. I understand people liking him and suddenly they realize his reasons for everything, but at the same time, he was a complete asshole to, I mean, jerk, whatever, to Harry throughout the entire series. I mean, regardless of whether he did it for a good reason or even if he was, because he didn't let a grudge go for years, for his entire life. And
yeah, no.
And he only protected him because he swore an unbreakable oath to Dumbledore.
God. Yeah, no, that plays into the whole thing of the whole Snape story, which I would really like to see explained, because I love it. I love his story with so much, and it
was a really wonderful,
the twist was
story.
Amazing, and yeah, by the end of it, like, you really did feel
but
for
I just
him.
Don't
but at the same time,
why people like him.
If you step back and look at it logically, it makes absolutely no sense. But reading it and the actual story really wraps you up.
Yeah,
emotionally, it's
emotionally,
so good.
It makes perfect sense.
But if you actually take a step back and think about it logically, you're like, this makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Number 37, which is a Harry Potter ship you absolutely cannot stand, and why?
You know, there's not a lot of those. No, I'm sorry, but I'm a writer. I can see every possibility ever of a character being together. Let's see. Pairing I cannot stand. I guess I'm gonna have to go with Draco and Hermione. But let me explain. Draco and Hermione are meant to be polar opposites. One is a pureblood who was raised very, very high class, very privileged. He's used to getting everything he wants. And then you've got Hermione, who we don't really know a lot about her backstory.
Her parents are dentists.
We know her parents are dentists.
She likes
and that typically means that they're pretty middle class, if not higher. They have such different viewpoints because of how they grew up. And they're so at odds that even if you did the, you know, angry romance pairing, you know, which is pretty popular with some of them.
I mean, at odds, though, is like a very popular
It is a very, very popular pairing for them, especially for those two. But The reason that I think that they wouldn't fit together at all is because no matter how much they matured, I honestly think that they would be even more at odds than Ron and Hermione, and the two of them fight a lot.
Yeah.
Just it wouldn't be conducive to their health, especially their mental well-being. And I just personally don't like any sort of, because to think about it, the only way to get them to actually pair up is if Hermione goes bad or Draco goes good, because they wouldn't be together if
See, the
she
thing
was still...
is, though, like, Draco isn't bad.
He isn't bad.
Just,
He was
16.
You're right.
Did you make any good decisions when you were 16?
No, I didn't. I never made any good decisions when I was 16. No, that's not really what I meant, though. I meant more like he not bad. Basically, the way I'm putting it is that it's kind of the Muggleborn versus pureblood point of view, and because of their points of view are so different, he would have to compromise and she would have to compromise, and they're both very stubborn.
That's a much better way of putting it than good
Let's put it that way.
bad.
Because I was trying to figure out how to put it, and that's usually the way people put it is pureblood bad, Muggleborn good, and that's not what I meant. So, what about you?
Snape and Harry.
Really?
Because that's disgusting. It's mostly because I don't want to think about that pairing or anything with Dumbledore, but also I don't understand. I don't understand the Snape and Harry one at all. Like, I love Snape, and, you know, Harry's great, but it's like, why would you put them together?
It's also kind of twisted, because he liked his mom.
No, exactly, like, that one I do not understand. And I avoid anything with Hagrid or Dumbledore.
Okay, those don't count.
We pretend those don't exist, because I don't understand.
What was it they said in Dragon Age? Canary would injure their partner? It sounds like what Hagrid would do.
Oh my god, Julie, why?
I'm sorry!
My mind, no innocence.
I didn't have an innocent mind to start with.
I hope you enjoyed. There will be more to come. Happy Venom.
Happy Venom. Venom?
Venom.
You'd have that little, like, ... And then, where was I? Okay.